I prepared the perfect anniversary dinner for my husband, but at midnight, I blew out the candles alone. That was the night I realized love can disappear in silence. My name is Elixir, and I am 35 years old. I have been married to my husband, Lawrence, who is 39, for 10 years. During these 10 years, we have built a family together and shared many memories. We have 2 beautiful children who are the center. Our son is 8 years old, full of energy and curiosity, and our little daughter is 3 years old, sweet and playful. From the beginning, I always believed in true love. For me, marriage was not just about living together, it was about respect, trust, understanding, and caring for each other every single day. When I got married, I promised myself that I would give my best to my family. I loved my husband deeply and sincerely. I believed in his dreams, and I wanted to help him achieve them. Because of that, I made a big decision. I gave up my own dreams and career plans so I could stay at home and support him. I became a full-time mother and wife. Every day, I woke up early to prepare breakfast, packed lunches for the children, cleaned the house, washed the dishes, did the laundry, and cooked dinner. I took care of every small detail in our home. I believed that these simple daily actions were my way of showing love. I thought my husband noticed my efforts. I thought he appreciated my sacrifices and valued everything I did for our family. But later, I realized I was wrong. One evening, I decided to plan something very special. It was our 10th wedding anniversary, 10 years of love, challenges, happy moments, and personal sacrifices. To me, it was a very important milestone. I secretly saved some money from the household budget to buy a beautiful cake. I spent hours in the kitchen cooking Lawrence's favorite meal, chicken and rice, making sure everything tasted perfect. I chose a dress that he once told me he liked, hoping he would smile when he saw me wearing it. I even asked my mother to keep our children for one night so that we could spend some quiet, romantic time together, just like we used to before becoming busy parents. That evening, the house was clean, the table was beautifully set, and the candles were ready to be lit. My heart was full of hope and excitement. I kept looking at the clock, waiting for the sound of the door opening. I truly believed that this night would remind us of the love we once shared. So I waited at home, with a hopeful heart, expecting a beautiful and unforgettable evening. The table was beautifully prepared, and the soft light of the candles filled the room with warmth. Everything was perfect. But Lawrence did not come home. I called him again and again, yet he did not answer. I sent him messages, hoping he would reply with an apology or at least an explanation. There was nothing. The house felt quiet and empty. As the clock struck midnight, I slowly blew out the candles by myself. The delicious food I had cooked with love was now cold. My heart felt heavy, and my eyes filled with tears. At around 2 a.m., I finally heard the door open. Lawrence walked in, but he did not look tired from work. Instead, he smelled strongly of alcohol. He was drunk. He was laughing loudly and talking on the phone with his friends, as if it were just another normal night. I stood there silently, waiting for him to notice me. My eyes were red and swollen from crying. "Lawrence," I said softly, trying to control my voice. "Do you know what day it is today?" He looked at me with confusion and said, "What? It's Friday." "It's our anniversary," I replied. 10 years, Lawrence. 10 years of marriage." For a moment, he became quiet. Then he laughed carelessly and said, "Oh, I forgot. Elixir, don't make it a big deal. I was busy. Work, friends, you know how it is." In that moment, I felt my heart break. I had been waiting for hours, full of hope and excitement. "You forgot our anniversary," I said, my voice shaking. "I prepared everything. I waited for you. You didn't even call." He rolled his eyes and said in an annoyed tone, "Stop overreacting, Elixir. It's just a dinner. Why are you making drama?" Just a dinner. His words cut deeply into my heart. For him, it was nothing special. But for me, it was everything. It was not only about food or candles. It was about love, memories, respect, and the meaning of 10 years together. It was about feeling valued. But in his eyes, it meant nothing. That night, I cried until I had no tears left. I felt invisible, like I did not matter anymore. I felt lonely in my own marriage. The next morning, after a long night of thinking, I made a difficult decision. I packed my bags. I packed my children's clothes carefully. Then I called my mother and said, "I can't stay here anymore. I'm coming to your house." When Lawrence returned from work later that day, he saw the packed bags near the door. He looked surprised and asked, "What is this, Elixir?" I looked at him with tears in my eyes, but this time there was also strength in my voice. "I gave you 10 years of my life. I gave you my love, my care, and my support. I left my job to take care of you and our children. And you couldn't even remember one important day. You didn't even feel sorry. I can't live like this anymore. I'm leaving." Instead of understanding my pain, he laughed again and said, "What's wrong with you, Elixir? Don't be crazy." His words hurt, but deep inside, I knew I was not crazy. I was simply tired of being unappreciated. I was tired of loving someone who no longer valued my heart. "You're overreacting," Lawrence said again, trying to make me doubt myself. But this time, I stood strong. "No," I replied calmly. "You are the one who does not value me. If I stay with you, I will slowly lose who I am. I cannot let that happen. Goodbye, Lawrence." And with those words, I walked away from the life I had known for 10 years. For a while, I lived with my mother. Life was not easy at all. I did not have a proper job or my own money. I felt scared and uncertain about the future, but I knew I had made the right decision. My children became my greatest source of strength. Whenever I felt weak, I looked at their faces and reminded myself why I had to be brave. I started searching for small jobs. During the day, I worked at a gift shop, helping customers choose presents and wrapping them carefully. In the evenings, I worked at a beauty salon, cleaning, organizing, and sometimes assisting with simple tasks. I was always tired, but I felt proud that I was earning my own money. Lawrence called me many times. He would say, "Elixir, please come back. Don't break our family." But I did not answer his calls. I was tired of empty promises and careless words. I needed actions, not apologies spoken too late. Weeks slowly turned into months. My children continued to grow. My son learned how to ride a bicycle, and I ran beside him, cheering when he finally balanced on his own. My little daughter started school, and I held her hand on her first day, encouraging her not to be afraid. I was there for every important moment. Lawrence visited sometimes. He took the children out for ice cream and brought them small gifts. He never forgot them, but he never truly spoke to me either. He never asked how I was doing. He never looked into my eyes and said he was sorry. One quiet night, my son asked me a question that broke my heart. "Mom, why doesn't Daddy live with us?" I took a deep breath before answering. "Sometimes," I said gently, "adults make mistakes. Sometimes people forget what is important. But your father and I both love you very much, and that will never change." He hugged me tightly and said, "I love you too, Mommy." I kissed his head and whispered, "We will be okay." I truly hoped my words were true. A full year passed. One day, my son had a school play. He was very excited and wanted both his parents to be there. Of course, I said yes. I knew Lawrence would come too. When I arrived at the school, I saw him standing near the gate. He looked different. He seemed older than before, and there was more gray in his hair. For a moment, I felt many emotions at once: memories, sadness, and strength, but I kept walking forward, focused on my son's special day. His eyes looked tired, and there were dark circles under them. But when he saw me, his face softened, as if seeing me brought back old memories. "Elixir," he said quietly. I did not answer. I simply nodded and walked past him. We sat in different rows during the school play. Our children stood on the stage, smiling brightly and searching for our faces in the crowd. For them, nothing had changed. We were still Mom and Dad, sitting there to support them. After the performance ended, parents gathered around their children, clapping and taking pictures. Lawrence slowly walked toward me. "Elixir," he said gently, "please, can we talk?" I wanted to refuse. I wanted to turn around and leave. But something in his eyes stopped me. There was no arrogance, no laughter, only regret. We stepped outside near the small school garden, where it was quiet. His voice was shaking when he spoke. "I was a fool," he said. "I forgot our anniversary. But it wasn't just that one day. I forgot you. I forgot to appreciate you. I forgot to see how much you gave to me and to our family. And because of that, I lost you." I looked into his eyes carefully. He seemed older, more serious, and somehow smaller than before. My eyes filled with tears. "I thought you didn't care," I whispered. "I did care," he replied quickly. "But I was blind and selfish. Elixir, I want to tell you I am truly sorry. I have changed. I don't drink anymore. I don't waste my nights with friends. I go to work and then I go home, but the house feels empty without you. It doesn't feel like home. Please, give me one more chance." My heart began to beat faster. His words touched the part of me that still remembered our good years. But I was also afraid of being hurt again. I did not know what to say. At that moment, our little daughter ran toward us. She held my hand tightly and looked up at her father with innocent eyes. "Daddy," she said softly, "can you come home with us today, please?" Lawrence's eyes filled with tears. He looked at me, silently waiting for my answer. I hugged my daughter tightly and felt her small hands holding onto me. Children need their father, I thought quietly. But at the same time, another question filled my heart: can I truly trust him again? Trust is not easy to rebuild once it is broken. I slowly looked at Lawrence. For the first time in all our years together, I saw him crying openly. There was no pride in his face, no excuses, only deep sadness and regret. "Elixir," he said in a trembling voice, I don't want to lose you again. I promise I will spend the rest of my life proving that you matter to me. I will never forget you again. I love you. Please forgive me." I closed my eyes for a moment. My mind was filled with memories: our wedding day when we smiled with hope for the future, the painful night I blew out the anniversary candles alone, the long year when I worked hard and cried silently, and now this emotional moment standing in front of him. All those memories felt heavy in my heart. Finally, I opened my eyes and spoke slowly. "Lawrence, I forgive you. And I want us to try again. Not because I am weak, but because I am strong. I forgive you because I have learned my value. I want our children to grow up in a home filled with love, not anger or bitterness. I am giving us a second chance. Please, don't waste it." Lawrence held my hands tightly and cried even more. Then he gently pulled me into a hug. Our children ran toward us with bright smiles on their faces, shouting happily, "Mommy! Daddy! We are together again!" "Yes," I said softly, holding them close. "We are a family again. Not a perfect family, because no family is perfect. But a real family, one that has faced pain, learned lessons, and chosen love again." As we walked home together that day, I felt a quiet happiness in my heart. I understood something important: sometimes love does not disappear in one big moment. It slowly fades through small things: being ignored, not communicating, forgetting important days, and not appreciating each other. But love can also return when people are ready to change, to admit their mistakes, and to fight for each other with honesty and respect. This was not just the story of losing and finding love again. It was a story about self-respect, forgiveness, growth, and the courage to begin again.